Hey, what is going on? It is actually about 1:30 on Wednesday. Some technical difficulties held us back, but that won't keep us from delivering information to you. So what we're talking about today is real estate career opportunities, meaning what is it that you could do with your real estate license that can result in some sort of income, some sort of business, some sort of money that you could be making. That's what we're going to be breaking down today, the different things you could use your real estate license for. This could be things like the traditional route, working at a brokerage as a realtor or real estate agent, whatever you want to call yourself, or we're also going to talk about owner-developers, maybe working in property management, as well as some of the more specialized types of real estate fields, commercial being a bigger one, but even businesses. There's so many things your real estate license actually works for, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. As well as some tips to get started, as well as be able to make money through these different routes and which one is probably the easiest to actually make money with. But this also opens the door to real estate investment opportunities and further things that the license isn't necessarily required for, but it gives you an advantage compared to everyone else. So I'm super excited to bring today's episode today. My name is John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday. 12:30 is our normal scheduled hour. A little late today. Again, some technical difficulties holding us back. This is an actual live production that we do here every single day. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get the Facebook chat loaded up here. So if you want to be able to interact with us, I'm going to have the Facebook chat loaded up here. If you have questions on any part of this here, just drop a comment in the Facebook chat. I'll be able to check in here periodically and see what questions you have of how I could tailor this information more specifically to what it is you might be wanting to do with a real estate license. And if you got a question, drop it in there. Even if you're watching the replay, we still go back and not only answer these questions, but look at those as information that we want to deliver in future episodes to help you get all the info it is that you need to build a successful real estate career. That's what we're ultimately here to do at the Tampa School of Real Estate. That's our mission. We don't want to help people just get a real estate license or just pass an exam. We want you to be able to change your life. But it takes not just the information to get the license, but also the information to build a successful real estate career. So that's what we're talking about today, the things that you're doing with this real estate license to actually make some money. So let's head over to the board here. So the biggest opportunity, the number one type of business that most people do with real estate is basically real estate sales. Sales, and in the real estate world, we actually use the term of brokerage. The term brokerage essentially means to bring together buyers and sellers. So bringing together buyers and sellers, that is a real estate brokerage activity. So this is what the typical real estate sales associate, or if you're a broker is the only one who's able to do this independently on their own. But essentially the way a brokerage makes money is they have somebody who wants to sell the property. They have somebody who wants to buy the property, and we have the brokerage in the middle. So we've got our seller, our buyer, and the brokerage. So essentially, we're the piece of the puzzle in the middle here. And you might be wondering, well, why can't people just go directly to the buyer or buyers go directly to the seller? And that actually is something that a lot of people try to do. That's where you see for sale by owner, the for sale by owner type of situations where a seller is basically trying to bypass a broker and going right to a buyer. But the problem is, and why a lot of brokers eventually list with a or not brokers, a lot of owners, a lot of for sale by owners eventually list with a real estate broker because they're not as good at getting people to this, getting from sellers to buyers. So they need help. And it might not be just finding the buyer. It's okay, well, once you got the buyer, what is it that you're doing? And that's what we're here to facilitate at the brokerage. We're here to help bring these together. And the reality is the way most transactions are done is not where you're representing both the buyer and the seller, but instead where, again, we have the seller, we have the buyer, and there's typically two brokerages. In most cases, most transactions in the real world, there's a separate brokerage for each client. That's not always the case. In Florida, we use something called transaction broker relationship most of the time. That's the default relationship in Florida, which what that does is that actually allows you to work with both the buyer and the sellers without being dual agency, without breaking any fiduciaries, because there's no fiduciary to begin with. So that's for all the guys that might already have a license in another state and know everything it was that I was just saying there. For those of you that are new to real estate, let's get back to this here. So again, there's typically going to be two separate brokerages. So we have a brokerage for the buyer and a brokerage for the seller. And essentially, these two brokers were the ones trying to find this middle ground, this meeting in the middle. Trying to bring the two of these together. That's what the term brokerage actually means. Brokerage is the act of bringing together buyers and sellers. Now, what is it that you get paid for something like this? Now, the commission, it's always a negotiated amount, but a typical commission or something that you could probably negotiate, again, give or take, because again, this is a negotiated amount, but probably about 6% overall. And this is typically negotiated by the listing agent where there's already a pre-negotiated commission for the buyer's agent. So this broker ultimately negotiates the compensation for both brokerages. Because the way the story goes, to share with you how we came about having cooperating commissions and why people are so willing to help each other out in real estate brokerage. You know, you look at a lot of other businesses, a lot of other industries, there might not be as much eagerness to be able to cooperate with essentially your competition. But that's how probably 99.9% of real estate transactions get done, is by cooperating with the competition. And so much so that the brokerage that represents the seller, they're the ones who list the property for sale. So the brokerage representing the seller is going to list the property. And when they list it, they're the ones who are ultimately negotiating an overall commission rate, let's say 6% in this scenario here. Again, that's a negotiated amount. And then this listing brokerage would split this up somehow. Again, probably a 50-50 split where, okay, we get 3%. And then whoever represents the buyer is going to get that other 3%. Now, like I said, most of the time it's going to be another brokerage representing the buyer. However, going back to this slide here, let's say you do this in-house. You represent the seller and the buyer. That whole 6% or whatever the overall commission rate it is that you negotiated, that is the overall commission. Now, depending on a lot of other factors in your real estate career of where it is that you end up, I mean, there's of course business expenses and things like that, but there's a lot of money on the table before any of those expenses or anything like that comes into play, before a brokerage expense or any cost it is to get your real estate license. Say, for example, this is we'll go by what an average price home is in the Tampa Bay area right now. So the average price in the Tampa Bay area, the exact, it's using like Pinellas County, Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa, the surrounding area of Tampa here. But the average price point is about $410,000 right now. Now, where it is that you're located, that might be more, that might be less. It can vary. However, right now in the Hillsborough County area, right where we're headquartered out of here, it's about $410,000. So what would that look like if we had a 6% commission on this? Let's do the math. Bring out our handy dandy calculator here. So let's go ahead and plug in our 410,000. And let's go ahead and multiply it by 6%. And that's going to give us $24,600. $24,600. So a lot of money, again, on the table here. Now, like I said, this is going to be if you're representing both sides. Let's say it's going to be more like your typical transaction where you're not representing both sides of the deal, but instead you're just representing one side of the deal. So let's say you're just representing the seller or you're just representing the buyer. Well, then out of that same $24,600 in total commission, that's going to get split into two. So we're going to have $12,300 over here and then $12,300 here. And that's, again, if it was at $410,000 at 6% commission overall. $410,000 at 6% commission, that's $12,300 per transaction side. Now, typically, as a new agent, you're not able to work independently. So as a new real estate agent, you're actually required by the Florida Real Estate Commission to register your real estate license with a real estate broker. They don't allow you to work and operate independently. You are required to register with a real estate broker. And the brokerages has different compensation levels. There's brokerages out there that are 100% brokers, which is probably not the best fit for a new agent. I mean, it sounds appealing that you get to keep 100% of your commission minus some sort of fee or transaction fee cost, something like that. However, the opportunities that exist stretch much farther than this here. And you could have a sale that could end up being a $24,600 commission, but just on one side. If we had to double the price, if we had an $820,000 property, that means this would be $24,600 per transaction side. So you start thinking about these bigger picture numbers, these larger calculations of how much money it is you could really make, especially as you get into some more luxurious, higher end. And the higher the price point goes, the longer it does take to sell. But those deals are out there, and sometimes they do close relatively quickly. Look in the MLS, and you'll be able to see multi-million-dollar properties going under contract the same day in the Tampa Bay area. It's crazy. So there's a lot of money being made always in real estate, but especially right now, there's a very hot market that we have. There's a lot of demand for real estate in Florida. A lot of people are moving here. A lot of people that have been living here want to take advantage of the market and be able to cash in on the equity they have in their property and trade up to a larger home or maybe downsize to a smaller home, maybe moving to a better location. Who knows what the case may be, but there's lots of opportunities for us to be able to earn this commission. And I do want to mention some of the other ways it is that you do have to earn commission through real estate. However, this is going to be the typical method that most professionals use to get started in real estate is real estate brokerage, and specifically residential brokerage. So where these are houses here. Now, we could do this exact same thing, not just with houses, but we could do it with commercial real estate. We could do it with a business. We could do it with agriculture. We could do it with industrial land. Any type of real estate in Florida, your Florida real estate license would work for any type of real estate for you to be able to earn money through real estate brokerage. Now, again, when you're starting out, until you have a broker license yourself, you do have to register with a real estate broker, and there might be, again, where there's some sort of fee or there could be a commission split. And what I want to do is break that down and talk about, how much money it is you might be walking away with this year. How much money is it going to cost you with a real estate broker to be able to earn this commission? Is it one of those 100% models, or is it a split, and what's the difference? What is it should you choose? Definitely really important information that comes back to what it is that you want to do with your real estate license. So that's what we're going to be covering next. We're going to take a quick commercial break. My name is John Carissimo. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. What's going on, Mike? Welcome back to the live stream. Thanks for always tuning in. But let's get back into today's topic here about career opportunities, about what you can do with your real estate license, about the money to be made. Because let's be honest, why would you go invest in a course? Why would you go take time out of your schedule to go potentially take a 1 week, 2 week, 8 week class, depending on whether you're doing something during the day or an evening or on the weekends or something like that? We have all kinds of different schedules, as well as a self-paced thing. But why would you put yourself through that? Why would you do that work? Well, the reason why is because of this. Because of this potential payoff that exists of being able to do this, and not just do this one time, but be able to do this once a month. So let's do that. Let's say that you're getting $12,300 per deal. Let's say that's your average. Now, your average might be more than that, it might be less than that. That does depend on the market it is that you're in. So if you're in a more luxurious, higher level or more in-demand market, you might see a higher average commission. Or maybe you are negotiating lower rates to get more business to start out with. So for your business, you want to use as real numbers as possible. But let's just start off with this, and we'll do another calculation right next to this with maybe, let's say, a little bit less money. But let's say you do this. We'll say you sell one deal a month. You close one deal a month. Now, that might involve multiple transactions. That might involve multiple deals, maybe 20 deals to get to 12 actual closings. But this is definitely doable. I mean, there's agents that are out there on their own, single agents that are closing much more than this, potentially getting into, 50, 60, 70 homes. And you talk about people with a real estate team, they're maybe closing hundreds of transactions per year if they're really doing a lot of volume. So 12, just one per month. Even if you're doing full-time, this is going to be a pretty good amount of money. And this would be tough to do part-time, to close one deal a month if you're just working part-time in real estate, but I don't want to say it's not possible. And that's what's so great about real estate really is what you make of it. So you could work smarter. You could work harder. You could work smarter and harder and really double down. But let's just say that you're going to do this 12 times, one deal a month. Let's get our calculator back up here. 12,300 in your average commission times 12 months is going to give us, no, that's not right. I think I put an extra zero in here. Let's try this again. 12,300 times 12 months. That looks right. 147,000. You sell 100 properties, you can see that's going to be 1,476,000. But let's start off with just one per month before we move up to selling 120 properties in a year. But yeah, 147,600. Now, yes, there's going to be costs. There's going to be expenses. There's probably a portion of this that goes to your broker, either in the form of a small fee for the 100% brokers, the one where you're maybe not getting as much from your broker, and then there's also the split brokers where they're taking a percentage of this dollar amount here. And the reason why agents would opt for something like that, it's not so much that the broker is taking that money, but they're helping you put that money in your pocket. So let's talk about what a commission split would look like on a transaction like this here. And let's leave our calculator up here, we're going to need it. So our overall gross commission here being $12,300. Let's say we've got $12,300. And let's say you're on a 70% commission split. And this is a good starting point that I would recommend if you're asking, what is a good commission split? What's a good roundabout place to be at? There are commission splits that are higher, there's commission splits that are lower, and this is money going to you. This isn't the money going to the broker. This would mean 30% going to the broker and 70% going to you as the sales associate. So still a lot of money on the table here. If we take this $12,300 and we multiply that by 0.7, that's $8,610. Now you do that 12 times, $8,610 times 12 will give us $103,320. So looking at these here, these two side-by-side calculations we just did of basically where you're maybe getting almost all of the commission or what the total gross commission would be versus after a commission split of 70%, where essentially 70% to the sales associate and then 30% to broker. And so what that does is it puts you in a situation where the broker does have a vested interest in you actually doing business. This 30% here, the broker wants that 30%, so they want you to get deals done. And that's, again, the mentality I would say to have about something like this here, is not to think about it in terms of, oh man, the broker is taking 30% of my money here, but rather think of this in terms of, oh, the broker is helping me put 70% of this money, or this $8,610 in my pocket. Because if you didn't have a good broker, you might not get that money in your pocket. You could figure this out on your own. There are agents that do that. They completely do this on their own. They really don't need a broker other than just being a broker. But for most agents, especially when you're new to real estate, maybe you have a license in another state and you're just getting licensed now in Florida. That's a different story. But if you're brand new to real estate and maybe you've been in sales before, but you've never sold real estate, or maybe you've done marketing before, but maybe you've never marketed real estate. Or maybe you've been in customer service, but you've never had conversations with people in a professional sense about real estate. So there's those learning opportunities that exist for you to help make you the true professional that you can be. And that's a big part of what a broker provides, especially for a new agent. But then on top of that, you're also going to want to make sure that you're registered with a broker that's got, technology and the tools that you need. Maybe they provide leads for you. Training is such a huge thing, but then on top of training, do they have any type of one-on-one support, maybe some sort of coaching or mentorship or things like that basically justify this here? Because the reality is, once you start to get up and running with your real estate business, what a lot of real estate agents will do is they'll start out with a commission split broker, maybe getting 70% of their commission, 80% of their commission, 60% of their commission, something like that. But then they start to look at this math and they say, there's about $44,000 that the broker earned here. Now, if you're earning $103,000, that's not such a bad deal. But maybe you're like, man, I could really do a lot with that extra $44,000. And, I really don't need $44,000 worth of a broker. And that's where a lot of agents will then transition maybe to one of these 100% brokers, where there might be some sort of fee on this here, but rather than it being like $3,000-$4,000, a smaller fee, a flat rate that is predictable. And that's where you'll see a lot of agents do. They'll jump ship from these commission split brokerages to go to 100% once they get things figured out and they know what they're doing. And some brokers are actually becoming wise to this, because there's a lot of brokers, as a matter of fact, that have some sort of hybrid type of thing where either this number will go up either on a temporary annual basis, or even where you move on and transition to a higher commission split or to a flat fee model after you've gone through some sort of training or coaching boot camp or done so many deals or something like that. So there's all kinds of different brokers out there that can be different fits for different agents depending on what it is that you're wanting to do with your real estate license. So you might be wondering, what is going to be the best fit for me, and how do I find that broker that is the best fit for me? Will they even want to hire me? And that's a huge question that we get, and it's one of the big misunderstandings about what real estate really is. Real estate, more so, rather than thinking of it like a job, it's more that you're building your own business. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a broker that is the best fit for the type of business it is that you're trying to build. And also based around your experience and what it is that you need from a real estate broker. And then again, a big part of this is, how do I do all of this? How do I have the information, the coaching, the training, and all of that? And there's actually a course on top of your pre-licensing. So to get your real estate license, it's called a pre-licensing course. It's a pretty, I want to say simple course, but it's a lot of stuff to remember, a lot of laws and rules. It's not the most exciting stuff. There is a bunch of stuff that kind of touches on the basics and fundamentals of real estate, but when it comes to actually practicing real estate, there's a course we have called post-licensing. And what that is more about actually practicing real estate. And what this is the course that you can take as soon as you have your real estate license up until your first renewal deadline. So this is actually a requirement to renew your real estate license, but you want to do it sooner rather than later, because especially if you're not sure of what is going to be the best broker for you, of how do you choose out of all the brokers that are chasing you down. I'm going to explain that after the break here, of how brokers come chasing you down once it is that you do your application, and why so, and how it is that you handle that there. But ultimately, it's like a reverse interview. You're trying to find the brokerage that is the right fit for you. So look, we're going to take another quick commercial break. Stick with us. My name is John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline. I don't need to do post-licensing yet. But look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday, 12:30 Eastern Time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry, to help you grow a successful real estate business, because that's really a big part of what real estate is a business, because it is what you make of it. The more it is that you put into it, the smarter it is that you work, as well as the harder it is that you work, the more results it is that you'll receive, especially as this starts to compound over time. It's definitely the most, I don't want to use the word difficult, but it's going to come the most slow, at least when you're starting out, because there's a lot to train on, there's a lot to learn. But if you stick with it, you keep your head down and keep going through this and stay perseverant, it's going to start to speed up and ramp up. And that's where things will be happening, but at a much faster rate, where you're able to have a lot more opportunities to capitalize on in any given moment. So this is all feeding into that, and that's what that is designed to do there. But let's talk about the next steps after you get, well, let's break this down start to finish. Let's say you're brand new. You don't have a real estate license at all yet. What you'll want to do first and foremost is check out this website we have called licensefl.com. So licensefl.com. It's our step-by-step licensing guide. And that's going to give you the steps it is. Basically what you've got to do is enroll in a pre-licensing course. This is a course that's required by the Florida Real Estate Commission to get a real estate license in Florida. We're approved and authorized to provide this course by the Florida Real Estate Commission. So you would take that course with us, either in an online course, a self-paced interactive one, or an instructor-led live stream. Or you could actually come to an old school, old-fashioned in-person class. Or we could bring it to you with the live stream. So we've got a lot of different options to knock out this course, and you could really complete it as fast as 7 days. We have 7 days super intense, like cram courses to go through all this information in a 1 week type of format. And we also have a lot of really great study tools, and that's the second thing it is I want to put on here, and that you can find more info at passfirsttry.com. Now, these study tools are not required. What is required is the pre-licensing course. The study tools are optional, extra, just something to help simplify and streamline this process as much as possible. And we've got a ton of information on there all about how these tools and really this strategy alone, even if you don't use the tools, can help you pass your exam. So even if you have no interest in purchasing anything, definitely check out this website here if you're studying for your exam, because it will help you better understand what your real estate, how to study for this exam. Now, after this, you'll want to go to Post Florida. Once you get your real estate license, postflorida.com. So postflorida.com is all about post licensing, and post licensing, that is the course that's going to help you understand the real world side of real estate here. And so we actually have all these bundled together in what's called our complete jumpstart package. It includes your pre-licensing course, the exam prep tools, as well as the post-licensing. And really on top of this, you're going to be guided every step of the way. Going through the course, there's a lot of things it is that we're covering that are going to answer a lot of the questions regarding, what is it that you can and can't do with your real estate license. That's a big part of pre-licensing. How is it that you plan to make money with real estate? And that's what your post-licensing course is all about doing. How do I pass this exam? That's what your Pass First Try study tools are all about here. And then every Wednesday as well as every Friday, we're here live to help you understand, everything else really that's in between. So that way, again, it's not just about passing an exam or completing a course. It's about changing your life, redirecting your future. Whether you love what it is that you do right now and you're just looking to get some extra money on the side, or you're maybe not the biggest fan of what it is that you've been doing and you're looking for something bigger, something better, something grander, something that could provide more opportunities than you have available to you now. A big part of getting more opportunities is differentiating yourself from everybody else. And not everyone has a real estate license. There's a lot of people that do. I think like 300,000 people in the state of Florida that do have a real estate license. But we also have I think 22 million people, so there's definitely still tons of demand out there, despite there being so many people with a real estate license. But a lot of people with licenses are just using it for either their own purposes, to maybe use it to buy and sell their own houses and save a little bit of money because they're able to do it themselves, but in a professional capacity rather than just being a for sale by owner. So you have a lot more access, opportunities, tools, capabilities when you have a real estate license to be able to buy and sell property. And whether you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it on behalf of others, especially when you're doing it on behalf of others, that's really what the real estate license is mainly required for. But there's so many people it is that you can help guide through this process to help make this, easy to understand, doable, something that people, can look at this. There's so many people that, for example, with first-time home buyers, that just don't believe that they could do it. And it's not limited to just first-time home buyers. This applies also to people looking to maybe upgrade or downgrade. Maybe they've lived in that current house that they own for maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. That could be a hard transition to make. They might not be ready to move on, or they might not know how to move on. They might not know what that process is even like buying a house in 2021 versus whenever it is that they bought their house previously. So there's a lot of concerns that people have where they do truly need a professional. And it's that person-to-person connection that's not going to get replaced by any sort of app or anything like that. There's tons of apps for real estate, but no app that replaces the real estate salespeople, because this is a very high-level type of position that requires a lot of, creative, critical thinking in the moment to figure out, for this client, not just what opportunities exist for you, but then what opportunities exist for your client, so that way you could help them achieve whatever goals it is that they have through real estate. Just like you might have some goals with your real estate license, your clients will have goals that you could help them achieve with your real estate license. So it's so rewarding. There's so much opportunity that exists out there. And if you're not trying to get cooped up in some sort of office, if you want to be able to, make your own schedule, be your own boss, have unlimited income potential, these are all things that real estate allows for. And so look, I know today's episode, we've probably opened a lot of doors to potential questions you might not have had yet, or maybe things it is that you're thinking about as you start to think through this more of how do I, get started? How do I start a real estate career? Is that something that I want to do? Is it something that I'd be good at? How do I get started? How do I choose a broker? Let's actually talk about that before we go here. When you do your application with the state of Florida, something is going to happen. And basically what happens is your information, your name, phone number, address, it becomes available via public records request. And there's quite a few brokers that actively pull this information because they're actively trying to recruit new agents. And so what that creates now is, as soon as you do your application, you're going to start getting bombarded in the mail, in email, phone calls, text messages of all kinds of brokers that want you to be part of their brokerage firm. And it's up to you, with our help, of course, if you need it. Just give us a call anytime. We can help you out here. But it's ultimately up to you to make sure you're finding the best brokerage for what it is that you want to do with your business. And that's where post-licensing is, to help you figure out what you want to do with your business. So therefore you can figure out who is the best broker for you. And even if you're already registered with a real estate broker, this post-licensing course has a lot of real-world training that definitely won't conflict with anything it is a brokerage teaches. Usually the stuff it is that a brokerage is teaching is going to be a little bit more higher level, a little bit more tactical, tactile, detailed information, which if you don't have a good firm understanding of the fundamentals, it might not always make sense why you're doing something. And then what that does is it takes you longer to learn things, it takes you longer to figure things out, just because you don't have as much of a grasp around the basis. And because this is a requirement for your renewal, why wait to where this becomes redundant information because you just learn by trial by error when you got to do it anyways? Do this as soon as you possibly can. Take away whatever information it is that you can to help you have a better path going forward in real estate. That's one of the secrets about starting a real estate career that no one told me when I got a real estate license, is take post-licensing as soon as you can. I, like most people, procrastinated and waited to the last minute, and I kicked myself for doing so because there's a lot of things that I learned in that post-licensing course that ultimately help build a better real estate business for myself. And it came this close to me just leaving real estate altogether. And that was before I'd taken post-licensing because I was just so confused. I had no idea what it was that I was doing. And so that's why we're here today, to make sure that, our students, and even if you're not one of our students, if you just found me on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it is that you're watching this video here, we'd love for you to come take a course with us, but wherever it is that you take this course, get your post-licensing done. Now, our post-licensing curriculum has a lot of content based around, again, building a successful real estate business. The curriculum is not as set in stone as it is for pre-licensing, because pre-licensing, it's all about passing your exam so you can get a license. Post-licensing is all about now, okay, what do you actually use this real estate license? How do you actually make money with it versus what are the laws and rules, the legalities, the technicalities, the things you can and cannot do. So look, that's about all the time it is that we have for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be back here on Friday for State of Real Estate, 12:30 p.m. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that little bell icon so you get notifications whenever it is that we have new content to help you better understand the real estate industry and help you better understand how to build a successful real estate career. If you have any further questions, you can always give us a call, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that they can. If there's anything at all we could help you out with, help you better understand, maybe you're not sure whether or not this is a good fit, or how do you fit this into your schedule, or is this something that you could potentially do, give us a call. We can answer any questions it is that you have. The people answering our phones are people that have real estate licenses, that have instructor licenses. These are people that are actually probably in the shoes it is that you're looking to go into as well. So they've been through a lot of the things it is that you've been through about thinking about this, making the decisions to get your real estate license, and they have a better understanding as well of, some of those opportunities that exist. So any questions you have, call us, 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like today's episode, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we know to do more topics like this. But that's, again, about all the time we have. Thank you for tuning in. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo, and you've been watching Ask the Instructor. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Charisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.